Okay. Well, grand rising, everyone. Blessed divine Saturday to each of us, to all of you beautiful Ascension Alchemy members, and our beloved Dr. Darius Meibodi. Thank you so much for this gift of being with us in this new now. Our new now has emerged, and we shifted a few things to really embrace this space that we are in now, and how wondrous it is that you were also experiencing Dr. Meibodi, so you were able to, through last week, which we'll get into, we said let's shift things around and let's really communicate from the lens of the embodied ascension. So we welcome the space with all of us, those that might be zooming in, coming in with us, and those who will be watching this later. So we humbly welcome you.
Thank you much. Great honor for me being here. Thank you so much.
As it is for us. So some of the folks already know and some don't know. Last week was so interesting because last week, Saturday, it was like almost like, I don't want to even call it timeline because it's not even timeline for me, at least my perceiving reality is kind of morphed in a different realization. So last week, do you know what I noticed as well? I don't know if you know. I didn't even send an email on that Sunday for the whole schedule of the week.
This week?
No, the week before.
Okay.
Because usually I send an email out for the schedule of the week. The Zoom links are there. That was even vanished. So the meeting we had with Darius wasn't even there. Like it was completely like vanished from literally my awareness. And so that Saturday when you messaged, which was last Saturday, and Michael and I have been very thick in this space of really present to this new now, especially after the 4-4 meditation of this universal meditation and removing this cap from this Atlantean matrix. It's like a whole reemergence of this greater presence. So I have been experiencing complete different shifts of reality, and my outer reality, everything is being impacted and affected in the changes that are occurring within, while simultaneously Michael had begun this experience in Mexico and coming in. Then our union has also been experiencing, and it was so perfect because when we spoke with you, and that's the beautiful gift, you're very responsible individuals, yet for it not to even send you the Zoom link, which is you know me so well, which was very unlikely, and in your new space as well, you could recognize that it also was not in your field somehow. It was completely forgotten, and how beautiful that we got to embrace each other and communicate what was happening, and we together knew we have to shift this conversation to this now. And where we are in our now is a very different now than it has been. And the three of us experiencing, and we feel some of the others may possibly be experiencing, not sure, or maybe they'll come into it later. So the value of our conversation, as we agreed to speak from the lens of embodied ascension and what is happening inside, would be really valuable. And we are very thankful to give the space for you, Darius, to communicate what is taking place in you. So we each get a chance to communicate what is taking place inside and have this be seen in its walk.
Oh, thank you. Just to come back on this date, what we had as well. What I felt is it's perfectly okay. You know, so one thing what I noticed clearer than ever before, it's everything is perfectly aligned. There's nothing, you know, to worry about, or there are no mistakes. You know, I feel we go in the place where, as we align with higher dimensional energies, more with the I am essence, there is only divine perfection, presence, right? So there's no deadlines, there's nothing like this. So to come, for me, just, I felt for a long time, especially in the month of, I mean, we're probably a lot of people noticed 2023, it's a year of big change. And, you know, it's always with the eclipse it's coming up, there's a lot of things going on. I felt in April of this year, in April, another shift would be happening for me. I knew it, I saw it some time ago as well. So I think it's happening at the time. It's not like it's a gradual shift as well. You know, I cannot put exactly a time point on when all this occurred, right? So, but it's for me some very unspecific thing what can come with other ascension symptoms, if you want to call it this way. It's like whatever, needing more sleep or waking up in the middle of the night, you know. But when I, as I said, when I notice is everything is perfectly aligned. So things would have caused me some worries before, or that's something I have to do something about that, be more, whatever, do something, it falls off my grids. So it's really a surrender. I feel as we align, we get more protection. Actually, we don't need to be protected because there's no need, because there's not an attack, there's no danger, there's nothing like this. So it feels like being in perfect harmony, being in this balanced state more and more and more. So even in case, I think during the time of ascension, it's interesting to see when I hang out with people who are not so much on the ascension path, how the energy the energies of this time very experienced in a very different way. And I see that a lot of people are exposed to a lot of drama because everything is pushed up for them, probably. You know, if you see it from divine intelligence, from God energy, there's a chance for everyone to ascend. That's the way I perceive that. And everything what is not aligned with high dimensional energies is magnified in order for people to wake up. And if they don't listen, it's going to be stronger and stronger. So I see like a lot of these dramas occurring in front of me, and it's becoming clearer and clearer. But in that I have immediately the understanding, and it helps me as well in one way to detach myself from that, so that I don't get entangled, and also some things may also reflect on me what I can fine tune in order to continue on my course towards ascension. So that is a very interesting thing, and I have actually several. It's almost like daily experiences with people's whatever challenges, you know. And it's actually, it's a way. It's really funny. It's almost like it's a cosmic game what we're playing here. So it's not. I honor the path of others. I can have compassion for maybe the suffering or the stress or the drama what they experience. However, it's not mine, and it's just like, it's all fine, you know. So I'm getting less and less entangled, right?
I love what you said, Darius. It's, you know, there's this month of April, and what I feel in my own personal journey, which I resonate to both of you, is this divine perfection that everything is all right. And it's amazing to just feel the trust and the breath in that, in the natural flow that's moving through us. Because it seemed before the equinox, there was a lot of energy for me that was coming up just to revisit where are the areas that I may not feel trust because worry's coming up or anxiety's coming up or certain energies. So as that was coming up to be cleared, it really feels in these April energies, personally, there's this full expression within that wants to be seen in its most natural divine nature. And it's been joyous to just be present to what wants to come through and letting go and just witnessing what is already here. And like you said, that journey can be completely different when we're maybe out in a 3D world and there's a lot of drama, distractions, and just kind of like energies that we can't really attune or relate to. Those that are, in tune maybe more in themselves and living 5D and higher. Yet it's this, it's just this presence that feels just very in the flow and allowing this, not efforting, not pushing, not pulling, but just trusting. And I really noticed that, within what we're moving through in choices in the next couple of months, when sitting in meditation and just feeling this natural peace that's arising and just this energy that is the presence of the presence that is making itself known more and more. And it's almost like it puts me in a different altered dimension at times, because I've noticed myself kind of being a little cloudy, or a little more like the energy in how I perceive things. It's just a lighter and softer way. And so it's almost, I feel like I'm kind of like sometimes almost interdimensions of what's moving through, because I can see it in a greater, say lens, but like just multi-dimensions. I can see aspects that are coming up, aspects that are falling away, but also aspects within the divine self that's saying everything is in flow, everything is all right, everything is exactly where it should be. So I appreciate you, Darius, sharing that, because there's a presence that I feel many of us and many that are going through that can really be awakened during these times.
Yeah, so very well, sir. Thank you so much for that. It's just also what I, and probably in alignment with what you said. So both of you and probably some of the, all of the listeners, I find it very interesting. So the mechanics of ascension, I love that, so like, and it's almost like it's getting more from the mental. It goes much more in the heart. It becomes something. It's not only knowing, but it's also really feeling about these things. I feel there's a greater shift towards the heart energy, that really the heart becomes much more of a greater center, so to speak. Or let's say there have been some more activations in the heart that allow these things to be felt, what otherwise maybe the mental body could only comprehend so much, and because of that it couldn't filter through to the heart. This is a way that I see that, but this is something that I'm experiencing at this time. So it's also like a joy what comes with that, so it's really like being in the candy store. I have a sweet tooth store, candy store is maybe a good analogy for me. So just this excitement about like really tangible, like the feeling of the ascension process within myself,
So with both of your shares, which I'm thankful you're sharing, there is I'll share from me what is taking place that really kick-started beginning of March. It was kind of like expedited, and from literally within, this calling was coming in, saying no more. It was no more to various things that, like, this inner part was saying no more, say no, like you will not accept it, claim it, that this is no longer part of your reality. So as I gave voice to that, I've been witnessing this metamorphosis taking place inside of me. And the first, the awareness of ascension has shifted, that I'm no longer, and I'm no longer an ascension journey. I've already ascended to that which I already am. And now is the delicate dance, gracious, allowing of embodying the integration of ascension. So with that, it was so, and it for a while this had been happening. So the I am presence has been a 12-year journey for me. That first, the I am to Saint Germain came when I was in Arizona, and I must say that the experience that I'm experiencing viscerally, and it is outside the mind construct, is a very different experience than before, when I would say I am presence, or that what took place, which was monumental, I felt for me, or the me in this expression of the human, was the equinox. The spring equinox was not about equinox, because it was about what literally opened up through this incredible vastness of the I am, in its readiness for those who were ready to claim its divinity. And so that's why for years it's been that I don't relate to anything astrology, like none of these, because it seems such distraction, and it only really is about the solar system of where we are a little bit further up. And that's why I was shown to lead this 4-4 meditation, to go beyond, past the Andromedan stargate, to go into that just pure consciousness, to recognize it's not about astrology, it's not about numerology, it's all the spiritual community that so distracted because it can't perceive its own. All of these became so apparent for this sight to see. And from that has been the integration. So internally, the sleep has been interesting. Every night, literally, I'm up about 2. And especially after the meditation, when I removed the cap, I had removed it before, then I had you all walk through it. And I saw that invisible cap was connected to many of us that were attempting to harness the empowerment, anything to do with the empowerment, to get themselves from the place of disempowered victim, being hurt, being, rights taken, all of that many became in this incarnation experience, that had been tapped, that had been shackled with this Atlantean matrix that had taken a part for it to remain there. And once this invisible cap was removed after going to pure consciousness, when you go to pure consciousness and you experience that, then it doesn't stand a chance, because it was once connected to the mind from Atlantean time, continuous operation from the mind and its limited construct. And once that's been removed, there is lack of words, newfound freedom. It is a liberation from the suffering that the human experienced because it didn't know its truth. It hadn't remembered. So I wrote something yesterday, from harm to harmony. We had harmed ourselves. That's, at least I speak for me, harm myself from not remembering, from not completely loving myself, from sacrificing, compromising, overextension, so much of that, and in the name of also collective energy. And for a while, I've removed also from collective energy because it was, again, for the outside. And the more I've come in here, and through this, I am really coming online, the presence, the sleep is changing because I wake up middle of the night and I'm watching, but not through my mind, not through any of that. Everything is gone. Witnessing the I am, its energy, its presence, its realization, slowly coming in. There's a similarity when I would go into transmedium, trans-channeling, yet I'm not channeling anybody, nothing, all of that. It's like all of them are so far away. It's this joyous, like, hunger and eager and welcoming of the me that's returning back to me, the real me that is so easy and so, there's so much space. I feel the space of the universe has opened up in me, and it's like there's vast space in here, vast space of infinite possibilities, because before I would view infinite possibility from the mind and I would say it, but it was there, it still felt more closed. And now here, there is no limit to this internal, and while very aware of the human mind is right here watching. It's like the big boss has come in and the human mind is here watching. It's like, wow, for so long, I really had run the show. Now I just can't, I'm just gonna watch because the big one has come in. And my human experience is ever so slowly experiencing it coming in and kind of getting a peek, and it's very sensual in both of the energies of the masculine within me, the feminine in me, and it's sexual, sensual energy married, like merged. It's merged together. I'm experiencing it's so vastly different inside, the really viscerally, and I'm like, okay, this is the embodiment is very different. So we were saying our life is gonna start reflecting the change because so much doesn't even resonate anymore. I just can't even bring myself, like, and I'll let you guys speak after. Like, one of the first thing is sacred divine feminine, sacred divine masculine. It doesn't even make sense anymore to me because it's merged. It's now about, it's not even oneness. That doesn't even resonate. It's the true crystalline being. It's like, I was sharing with Michael yesterday. I said, Michael, like, I can really tell when you hear what it's like to really move out of duality. It's a whole duality, even like the word light worker doesn't resonate because it's all, I was part of that game. It doesn't make any more sense from the lens of I am, it's like the I am is like, oh, that was cute. Cute. That was cute.
Yeah. Yeah, so I see that as well. Actually, if I think about that, it was end of the year. I may have said it in some conversation before, that I got to download how to do the next step in my work of Ascension, of Accelerated Ascension. And it was about the activation of the mitochondria, the power cells. And they have, their consciousness comes from a very, very high dimension. And how I perceive them, they're very, they don't have individualized expression of their soul essence. They're more a group, like a group consciousness as a reflection of their high energies. And I only started to, well, first expand on myself. That was at the beginning of the year, and that may have been one of the trigger, but also in perfect divine timing from that. And it's interesting that you say also with the Andromedian, because the way I see Andromeda, the galaxy, it's the dimension. I mean, it's even this to give something different dimensions from a divine perspective. This is also just an illusion, probably. Let's say from a low dimensional perspective, this is where I see the dimension is so high in Andromeda that there's not the individualized expression of souls anymore. And this allows us actually to tap into the I am presence. And if I looked at now, it's just at the beginning of the Ascension journey, probably I think we released trauma, past incarnation drama, and all this type of thing, heal diseases. Excuse me. So it's a specific way, but I see when we come suddenly we reach a threshold, and it's like we can poke through, and this is actually, even though it's not necessarily from one day to the other, but there's a specific point where suddenly the evolution, not to call it ascension, starts to change, right? So it's not like I have to heal. It's something I just have to allow that to flow in. And this is something also then probably from that we start to go from the human 3D, 4D, whatever software, start to allow to be reprogrammed with the divine software, so to speak.
Yeah.
And
so
it's
that which you're speaking of, Darius, is so before I put that 4-4 meditation. So what I was experiencing, what I was being shown, which the catalyst was a family situation that I was experiencing with this so-called difficult family situation. There was a moment in which from this space that gave me the opportunity to really harness the software of my Christed self, my crystalline self, the expression of. So from I am, when we are I am, is pure consciousness. It's not even light. Not even light comes then after. And from the light, as the energies gather, then it moves into a crystalline before it goes to a light body, which I'll speak to that in 1 second. And then, so I was somehow that ignited that, where I was able to send this email to a family member that was accusing me of really, it was very hurtful if I would have allowed it. Yet the level of its love was so profound inside of me when I wrote this. It went way above. And that was the catalyst, at least for me, because this presence came in. And what it was is exactly when I had died on January 8, 2012, when I crossed to spirit side. I went through the different, from spirit body even to another place, octave. And then when I went to pure consciousness, that experience was not revealed in me, was accessible to me. And the freedom of it came through. The freeing energy, because it has its own energy. And this was the catalyst, because that night, when I went to sleep, I had not slept like that in, I don't know how long. I have no idea. When I woke up the next day, I was aware I was different, as if a walk-in had come in. Yet I was aware it wasn't a walk-in, because it seemed like the walk-in that had come in had left, the other walk-in had left, and then that true me had come in. And why I'm sharing this with you, because past that, so I was showing about Andromeda, that whole galaxy, and where our solar system is part of it. All of that was the container, the way that galaxy is like the container of this cap was capped there, because if you go past it, you go into the pure consciousness. And what is actually happening is within, because when we're navigating through that, but what we're navigating through ourselves beyond the mind. And beyond the mind, we move into pure consciousness. And that's where that cap literally just breaks off. But that cap has been placed on purpose because it no longer is about power. Up until that point, everything is about power, the power game on the planet, the power game around the solar system, power on Earth, power, domination of power, power over energy of others, power, spirituality, all of that, everything about power. And when we move to pure consciousness, because it passes the mind, the human mind, it doesn't even go to divine mind, it goes to pure consciousness. There is nothing about power. It is pure powerless, because it's full allowance. And that allowance, so the awareness has come in, and there's this realization of the awareness of the freedom that it contains. And that's where the responsibility lies, because most do not know how to handle their freedom, and they're not even ready for their freedom. Because because most have been just trying to get the power and then afraid of their power. And what we're speaking of from I Am, when you taste this freedom, this is what is considered a true weapon for those that have been attempting so much to keep people in constraint and in containers, tapped into the mind with program, PSYOP, all of that, and also within the spiritual community, all the distractions. So you don't really experience what is divinity that has its freedom. And its freedom is very different, because it's beyond the mind. It goes way beyond, and the experience of it releases all of these ways that we were doing things. Like we're now going through it, like, and it becomes almost a comedy, like watching it. And being able to be with people. Like last night we went to the restaurant, and rapidly all people drinking alcohol, and we happened to sit next to these two ladies, and So there we were, we ended up having this conversation where they're like, oh wow, like they want to experience healing. And it was so like unlikely place. And you see, oh, it's cute. The lost souls are so cute, and they're not really lost, but it seems like they're lost, but they're really not. That's part of their experience. So I just wanted to share that what I'm experiencing in this, in its freedom. That's like, and viscerally, this my system feels very calm, my human system, a calmness I had not experienced before. Maybe I had gotten a taste of it, but I had not experienced this. And in here, I recognize there is no more healing here.
Absolutely. I feel as well. It's just, I mean, it's probably words don't really do justice to try to explain these things. Maybe one, whatever, vague similarity could be like the energy of surrender and also innocence come in, so that we're not defined anymore by experiences from the past, belief systems from the past. And that is very beautiful. It's also like, you know, if then to understand that all the other souls, if you see them as also a fractal of the divine, it's perfectly okay if the path they're taking. It's perfectly okay if someone is not ascending. It's just perfect, you know. It's effortless. It becomes more and more effortless, yeah, and exciting as well, because suddenly you can be like in this bliss, in this awe situation, and wow, you know, we've done so much in for Ascension before and doing all these things, and wow, this is a completely new reality open up again, because obviously it's we've been there at some point before, everyone, right? Because source is our home, you know, we are source is us, and very exciting times.
Yeah, it's coming in the body. I feel when we're bringing in the body, that I am coming into the human body. I'll be giving a little talk about this one. I was walking on the beach, Darius, John, and there was a bit of tears coming. I was sharing with Michael. It's like the human self doesn't really know that I am. And the I am doesn't really know the walk of the human self. So they're both kind of excited to meet each other. So in this allowing, there's this really sensual, like, dance, like, wow, this is so, and it's like a love. It's that love that so many of us long for to experience. And it was always looked on the outside, yet the nectar is coming in because it's these two getting to know each other, getting to interact, and it requires this space for it to get to know, because it's like they want to now collaborate, they want to dance, they want to experience now together. And I see a few of us that have come to this, and it becomes a matter of, are we going to allow it? Because we, in our allowing, it's a very different expression of our creation of reality and our perceiving reality. And with that comes the entire change of, again, family, friendship dynamic, the way we collaborated, all of that, like, again, falling sort of by the wayside, because many of them were set up from the consciousness that was, and now the awareness not consciousness, the awareness of the pure consciousness now that is integrating is a whole different ball game. And it really now, like I'm tasting truly the now, the wonder of the play here. There are so many ways to play with this because it is so independent of anything else on its outside. And holy wow, what a game changer.
Absolutely. And also, I think as we become then, you can say like a connection between the human and the I am. It's the potential would exist in 3D, 4D, whatever. It's becoming so much more, you know. And as I said, a lot of people come to me with medical issues or other issues for work, but it is almost like it's just a side effect that these things happen. Whatever, there's no need for that, or like
That's right.
It's easy and easy without making an effort. Like even like things like aging, you know, that it is falls out of the grids, but without having any attachments to that outcome of that, you know. So it's really, I can see more and more, and it's really funny to see that how 3D is crumbling apart, you know. It's really exciting.
Yeah, and I've also, I don't know if you both are experiencing it. I am also experiencing that in which we call 3D, 4D, 5D was very tied in the human understanding from the human mind. And it's so far away again from for me being able to even resonate with that, because it's like it kind of became into like particles. It's all one, and there is no 3D, 5D, 4D, 140. There just isn't. It's all one, simultaneously experiencing at from the first D, second D, 30 to 104 to beyond to the infinite, all at the same time. So I can tell my entire language is changing because that doesn't even resonate anymore, because this right here, like literally right here, contains all of it. And these are the little cute little particles of all of it. So it's suddenly like that all of this I am is accessible to all of these dimensional frequencies, and then there's the choice of how it wants to interplay and interweave in its expression. So there is such a freedom here, such remarkable freedom. And then it becomes our services. How do we, what do we offer then? So maybe Michael and you and Darius can each say, because even that for me is changed again as well.
I like what you said, when looking at these frequencies or these vibrations, dimensions, because everything is happening all at once, past, present, future, it's all happening at once. And I feel when there becomes that greater awareness of recognizing it, it's all here. And it's almost, I don't know how you're feeling, Darius, like interdimension travel of just becoming aware of like the layers of when moving through. It's like moving through and saying, okay, I can see all the dimensions before me. And it's, what do I choose to even create what those dimensions are? Because there's like a higher presence beyond those dimensions, right? It's almost like,
Yeah, like the wave,
highways
when the
or-
wave comes, right?
Yeah, like when
Yeah.
there's highways or pathways, or it's like it's all here. And what I really appreciate is it's like there's no better time now to be experiencing this space, this freedom, this ease, flow, and just beingness, because I feel that demonstration of what we already are doing is the new template, or not the new template, is what we are creating to show others this is a possibility. This is a place that there's no getting to. There's like we've had so many layers of what we need to do, what we need to release, but once we start kind of letting go all the facades of it all, I believe there's this ultimate, it's even hard to describe in words, just this presence.
Because you've arrived at the presence and now live it. It's like, now live to its fullness. We've been saying that, but we really haven't been. And you're speaking about, I love that you said that, because within here, like I experienced a couple of days ago a wave coming in, and I could get a wave of my past coming in, and it was tied to my human mental body, or the mind wanted to kick in, and have its concerns, all of that. And then here's the I am like so relaxed in it, relaxed in such profound love that it just engulfed it. Like, it's okay. It's like the great parent is here. Like, it's totally all right. And it gave it permission to relax. Yet the physical body was also adjusting. Like for 2 days, I had this sort of spasm on my sacral in the back, and Michael did actually put acupuncture needle in my body, and I could tell because it wanted to come in. It needed like more opening inside the human body, because the human body has not been used to at all to this energy that it belongs to itself, not outside. It's been attempting to get it from outside for so long, functioning from such limitation, and now it's trying to. Now it's like it has its own fuel, like, but it needs to fuel itself. It's like coming in to fuel itself, and like we're creating more time in our schedule so we can allow more of this and allow more, because you can't allow it like this either, because it will create hurt, because it's like a ginormous dam that's open up. Not ready for that level either, because your body's going to check out. It can't handle it.
I had actually some symptoms like this as well. When I started my journey, 20 plus years ago, I noticed I had like irregular heartbeat from time to time, and which was fine. I knew it's just like an upgrade of the heart chakra system. And I had that at this time as well, from occasionally. It is really interesting how the body is, on one level, our essence is coming, the I am essence is coming much more in. The body is catching up, but it's a very nice, beautiful way. It's very harmonious today, because there's so much clearing in the previous step has occurred already, that it's just like allowing the human vessel to come online in order to carry, facilitate for the higher essence to express itself, so that we can bring this essence in, and as long as 3D, 4D exists, we can have fun here too,
Absolutely. That's the key. Really enjoy, like truly enjoy. And I don't know if you both are experiencing, really enjoy that. It's not about to enjoy that, okay, if I'm around 5G, I'm not going to be affected. If I'm having, for example, dairy in my cafe con leche. It's like all of that goes because it no longer resonates. Or I had to eat all of these organic, all of this, because suddenly I'm seeing all of that was there also because, oh my God, in order for me to reach my ascension and all of that, and like I'm seeing all of that is fading away as well because it no longer is relevant. And I'm curious about you, Darius, in this. Let me ask you a question, because you also did the 4-4 universal meditation. And what took place after that for you?
That's one thing, like, it's a very I have like one book that I ordered a long time ago, and let's say a lot of keys are inside. And after that, I took that out, and I can see how I can translate it in my own work or play in order to help others and who want to do that too. So this is one thing, and I see how profound it is. As I said, it was lying around, and this is something that happened after the meditation, right? So this is something that I can say clearly that was very much a trigger of that, and I think some awareness, it's almost like for me, unless I take notes, I forget about these things. It's just because time is I mean, ask me what I have for breakfast, I wouldn't forget these things easily. So it just unless you really pay attention to that, it falls apart in the timeline where exactly that occurred. But as I said, this is something that I can experience, and that I'm aware that happened since, and it feels. I think a lot of the things what I said also have happened since that time. About like this, whatever, not worrying about these things and seeing the old programming, especially drama. Because we just moved to Italy, well, now a year ago, and a lot of people moved from abroad to Italy, so this is often very stressful. Things run different than in their home country. So a lot of people, the challenges or obstacles of people come very much out. But it's funny to observe the whole thing in the way, without being ridiculizing people. It's just like to honoring the experience that they have, and just now, whatever, just it's fine. It's nothing to worry about. Also, I think what you said about organic and whatever 5G, I have the same. It's just because here where we are, it's not so much organic food. If I have the choice, I take it. It's fine, But I know even if it's more expensive, the resources will be there if it's meant to happen. If not, that's fine as well. I see that very much
more
about
relaxed with that. Yeah.
I see about also what a lot of people project also in the spiritual community about the financial crisis, collapse of all the currency. Something if I don't feel impacted by that. So I fully understand more and more to a greater degree than years ago that we create our reality. And it's really, what do I want to create? It's really, do I want to manifest heaven on earth? Yes, nothing else.
So you can just the linear, you mentioned something that you're forgetting things. This is because we're noticing so much more of that, a lot that's tied to the human mind. After this, that open up, because we move out of it, I can tell I move more, not completely out of linear, and is now singular. So this singularity is so fatty because it's so circular and it's not linear. So there's that freedom. And we can tell like our like from schedule thing is changing because it doesn't resonate anymore. So which I'm going to have Michael speak, because we're going to tie into what we're feeling about Ascension Alchemy, because we had these 3 tiers. It doesn't resonate anymore either.
Yeah, I just wanted to go with the theme that because there is this general sensation of more peace this feeling of flow, that it's like the acceptance within is just allowing itself to be brought forward. And within that, obviously, it's almost like these planes of resistance starts to fall away.
Yeah.
It's all of a sudden like, wow, isn't it interesting to see what I would resist in the past, or what would get my attention reaction is now shifted, because it's like, I feel like there's like a whole new dawn that has been placed forward. And I love what you said, Darius, in the sense of like, we create our own reality, right? And it's like, I feel like we've like all come from like the solar systems as like superheroes that are now like launched onto Earth and creating our own reality from what we feel is our next natural connection within our higher self, within our soul, within our I am presence. And now having that level of freedom where there doesn't personally hold this level of worry, stress, because it's almost like the more acceptance that's happening, the easier it is to let go and not be attached to areas that could create more obstruction, create more resistance. So it's like this whole form of, there's the trust, there's the letting go, there's the flow, here's the faith. It's like all these pieces are coming together. And what's so wild is it's really simple. And the greater form of it is like, sometimes we can get so deep in spirituality and ascension and all these areas, and it's like, wait a minute, we're using the divine principles, we're bringing them forth, and we're allowing it to happen. And just by allowing to be open to receive, it's already taken care of itself without ourselves getting in the way of it.
And the simplicity. It's so simple. Like, okay, here. Okay, here.
It's funny when I see from time to time, like the whatever, for example, what is as corruption or mismanagement in countries and stuff like this, when one party says this and the other one says that. For me, it's like instead of seeing maybe in the past there's really injustice or anything, like I say, that's so exciting, because actually these are the triggers that can help people to wake up, to really see whatever. To get away from projecting outward. Something needs to change outward in order for me to have a better life. It's really something I see. It just becomes so ridiculous in a funny way. It's such a bad. It's just a charade. Everything was displayed in order to help people to wake up. So I see it's almost like the divine is making these weird comedy, which becomes so ridiculous that people, it's more and more difficult not to wake up, not to claim your power again, claiming power in order to come to the point that we can embark on the ascension journey for those who are not aware of these things yet. This is also what I see.
To make a comment on this, I want to share from the I am that is perceiving, is seeing. I've come to also recognize what we're perceiving that was created. We individually took part in that creation. It wasn't the divine that created it. We, from our limited perceptions, slightly tap into the essence of our divine self, created these realities. And in order for change it, we can't create the change when we're in it like this, because we have to step outside of it from the greater created than the change within. So it projects out like a projection screen in the change. So from this new space, I got to see it was never divine created this. The divine, it just is. And we as consciousness created this reality. So when we remember that we took part in the separation, in duality, the game of duality, the game of power, the game of manipulation, the game of it, and be incarnated to experience it so viscerally and victimize others, harm ourselves, to have such authentic, true experience. So then from here, as we remember who we are, then from this I am, it's like, now we create responsibly, differently. Because that's what, again, that's that freedom that has tremendous responsibility in it, because it's no longer, okay, well, it was divine, created it. It's no longer, I'm just not seeing that anymore. We all, as all of us connected to our individual I am, but we have forgotten we took part from a lens that was like this. And now when we incarnated back, because we knew we can from I am, so it's as we relax into it, we struggled through it. We had so much difficulty. We had to experience what human suffering really was to then bring the divinity of its freedom and flow. And that's the arrival point that I feel, at least in me, I feel I've arrived in the core of it, and now allowing it. So from here, creating responsibly in its freedom and its joy, not from the way it was continued contribution to the energy of others as a pool that had contributed.
It's interesting. It's like it feels like consciousness is expanding to the consciousness that's creating the consciousness. It sounds strange, but it's like this cosmic game of where everything is an expansion of what consciousness is being created. So there's no right or wrong, there's no good or bad. Everything is just evolving from what we know is and what we're seeing. And it's funny because I'm trying to put words behind it, but like my higher self, it's like it's hard to put the words behind.
But you're saying, I captured the essence of what you're saying. So then there's nothing to fix. There is really nothing wrong. And even somebody's coming with all their health issues, there's almost like a celebration. Wow, like what you're not allowing in your life. That's great. You chose to experience that. Even with cancer. Wow, that's awesome. Look at what you're not allowing, because it's so easily seen. And then there's that game change. Like, no, I don't know about you, Michael or Darius. Like, I just don't feel caught. I'm gonna jump in to help you remove this. No. What I'm experiencing now, I'm gonna stay in the I am, and I'm going to welcome you to welcome your I am in. That's what I clearly see my role is now. That's it. So simple. No channeling, no one, nothing, no angels, no masters, nothing. Galactic, everybody's in here, but they no longer have my attention. The only attention I have is my I am. That's it. That's the only thing that truly is of value and importance. And this is interesting. And I also share this, and I'll have you both make a comment. I was telling Michael, Darius, I really saw that the role of the angels, the role of the ascended masters, the role of the guides, the role of the galactics, the councils, so grateful to them. And through my awareness, I saw, wow, there's a part of my human experience that really relied on them as a crutch. And now all has been removed back. it's gone in, and it's like you're on your own. And that feels freaking incredible. So it's no longer none of them. They're there, but it's like no crutch. You live completely in your I am as the living master. And it's like, wow. And that's what's very exciting. So I'll let you both make your also comments about your healing, how you see in this space. Like, are you even called a healer anymore?
So from my experience, if I can start, is it's what I see that as let's say the aspect of unity consciousness is becoming much more clearer, and I see that I am the angel, I am the ascended master, I am the archangel, I am the Elohim. So it comes back. So there's no separation anymore in this. So also then it's not like you stand outside and I do the thing. It's all one. Even the person who comes for healing or whatever you want to call that, it is just an emanation of myself and vice versa. So there's it merges that there's not. It's all basically we're all.
Yeah.
And because of that, the help what we felt was outside before it actually was always inside. We may have, from a human perspective, say, whatever, these are Archangel Raphael, Michael, and so on, and they help us in order to make sense out of, have a specific 3D experience, the same as polarity. But the divine truth is that it is all one. It's just like a different facet. So we will never different, same as your soul is a reflection of my soul and vice versa, but actually we're the same. We're just different expressions of one divine soul. Same as from a 3D perspective, we can make things in what I mentioned a little bit earlier. We say there's a third, fourth, fifth dimension, whatever, and they're different systems. We just try from our mental body to make an understanding so that we can navigate in our reality what we perceive as our life or whatever, but from a divine perspective, even this is an illusion, right?
Yep, absolutely.
And I feel part of it is, the deeper that we become aligned in that presence, is then we are the walking embodiment of that. And what I've noticed recently within my healing sessions is bringing that level of alignment to the individual, so that that individual is recognizing their alignment within themselves just through the interaction and the activation of the time spent together. Just being in the presence, their body and their level of shifts and changes are automatically happening because it's happening within me. And by happening within me, there's a direct relationship of them moving into their greatest states of alignment. So
absolutely. Yeah, as we have more higher frequencies, you may have seen it as well, that specific processes healing are much faster than they used to be like a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
So it just, and if you see that the higher frequency, whatever helps the lower, maybe not so harmonious frequency to come back into alignment, it just, whatever, faster and faster. It's getting more effortless and more effortless. There's no limitation. I don't see any limitation. If someone chooses to have a limitation, it's absolutely fine because they still choose to have a 3D, 4D experience. However, if we say this is enough, then everything is fixable.
That's right.
Whatever. So it doesn't need to be experienced anymore as a limitation.
Yeah, that was something so clear, that the choice in this freedom, the choice stepped in. And it was the question, do I choose to want to continue to experience suffering? And it was very relaxed, no. And it was like, choice you choose. And it was there wasn't anything exciting, anything like, it was just so clear. And yes, joy. The rest of my human incarnation is joy, and it's freedom in its true freedom. That means they're free to express the way it is in its the complete non-attachment, and non-attachment to identity, non-attachment to there's a lot that falls on the side, and the ease of the acceptance of, yes, joy will be the way. And because joy from the experience of this divine love, and this human self be so loved, like it's never experienced, because it incarnated just to experience the deliciousness of being loved by its creator. So here is the opportunity. It's not about the job. It's not about the family. It's not about the cars. It's about love. Did it experience the depth of love in this density? And that's come on really live, like enjoying. I'm enjoying holding this body. So, it feels so good hugging it, and just it's all so new from this lens. So it's very, very different, and I feel our Ascension Alchemy is going to be expressed the way, like what we have as content in our 3-4 tiers doesn't resonate anymore either. So it's going to go through its expression that we both already feel is going to be more towards those who are called to really access their I am and live from their I am. That seems to be the forefront. As we are embodying, we'll have the language to assist others in embodiment, true embodied ascension. Nothing else you got to heal, nothing else you got to none of that. You don't need to clear on it, just start integration. So it will be interesting how that reflection will be, how that the expression of it in Ascension Alchemy, because after all, the name Ascension Alchemist, Ascension Alchemy, we are alchemizing ascension. So we individually go through it, and our union goes through it. So it has the wisdom communes as a way that for those who feel called. And it is really for masters. I feel those who know they are masters of the reality.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel for some time as well that there's going to be a change in my work, but I have no clue, what it's going to be at this time, and it's fine, So I just allow everything to unfold, knowing that everything is going to be perfect.
Exactly, and we'll continue to walk together and see how the expression of it would be, and the wondrous collaboration from this new now.
Absolutely.
You're fading.
What's
So
that?
you're fading. Yeah, no, when the energy comes, you get to you can tell the energy of the I am, because a lot of time bodies still wow, it's so grand till it adjusts. So Darius, thank you so much for allowing, for being present and being present with us today.
Thank you much. Great honor as always to be with you. Feel very honored and blessed. Thank you.
You're very blessed.
And we so appreciate your radiance of joy and your happiness and your ability to, meet us 7-some hours later in the day to, honor what we get to share with our members And even just within this activation, you know, a lot of this I was quiet because I felt like I was being
Yeah,
activated.
you can tell he's experienced. Yeah.
Because it's like I'm hearing it, then I'm hearing it up here, and I'm just integrating it.
Your body is
there's-
experiencing it.
And I guess the last thing is, you know, to know for all those that are listening is, you know, to really honor this time of integration, honor this time of presence. You know, I was really feeling when Honey said, you know, it's not about your job, it's not about the clients, it's not about this. It's like when we start to let go and just bring that presence of what is in its allowance, then it's a whole new game. It's a whole new ball game, because then it's like, what am I doing not to allow? What am I doing to block the flow or creating resistance? Or what am I doing to get in my own way that I've done so much? Because now there just seems to be a larger aspect of just so much more to this wonderful nature. So thank you, Darius, for always just bringing your beautiful energy, your love, your charisma, and just the joy that we can see radiating through your heart all the way to ours.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So much love to all of us, to all of you, as really love is us. That's it. Okay, much love.
Thank you, brother.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.